Today's recipe comes by request. Pixie Dust Traveler, who is a fellow YouTuber, and I will try to remember to link her in the description box below. And Pixie Dust, if I forget, don't hesitate to comment and remind me. But she has requested a recipe demonstration or a recipe video for peanut butter cookies. And so I hadn't made them before, so I started researching different peanut butter cookie recipes and seeing what different elements I could bring together. And so I made a batch of peanut butter cookies. And it's rare that something works so great on the very first try, but my husband tasted these and he said, don't change a thing, they're absolutely perfect. So that's what we're making today. Now to start out, I am going to make my own homemade peanut butter. I've done a video on this previously, but it's really simple. All you need is a good food processor. I say good, I don't think I spent more than $40 on this, but a food processor. You want unsalted roasted peanuts. The reason I say unsalted, because for some reason salted peanuts come with a lot of extra ingredients. So the only ingredients in this is peanuts. So I will add my own salt as I am making the peanut butter. So again, I'm just going to take a whole container. This is a container, it's a 16-ounce container. And I'm just going to put the lid on here. And I'm going to pulse this a few times to get it almost a powdery consistency, and then I'm going to add some salt, and then I'm going to let it go until it creams up really good. Alright, and again, that's just, it's a, like I said, it's a kind of just a crumbly consistency there. You don't want it to start to butter yet when you add your salt. And I don't even measure this. I mean, it's probably, I probably put close to a half tablespoon of salt in here, maybe a little bit more. And if you have enough salt in this, you won't need to add any salt to the cookie dough recipe. So the salt's in there. I'm not going to replace this and keep letting it go. It actually takes a couple of minutes for the peanut butter to cream up and get good and creamy, and so much so that the device actually starts to get a little bit warm. But that's okay. Like I said, I would say a good 45 minutes to get this going. So I'm going to take care of this and we'll be right back. This just finished up, and so let me show you just how creamy you can really get it at home. So let's just take a look right there. I mean, it's shiny, it's creamy. The reason you let it go so long, you can stop it shorter and have more coarse peanut butter, but the oils don't really start releasing until you have it going for a good 4 to 5 minutes. And when you're making cookies or fudge, you really want a more creamy peanut butter than chunky. So I'm going to get this measured out, and then we will get to the recipe. What you have is you're going to have 1 egg, a half a cup of Swerve granulated sweetener, 1/3 cup of Swerve brown sweetener, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then this is totally optional, but I also put in a tablespoon of yacon syrup just because I really like the flavor boost that it gives to the cookies. And then all you need as far as flour is you have 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, and then you have 1 cup of creamy peanut butter. I gotta tell you, once you start making your own homemade peanut butter, you will never want to buy store-bought again. It tastes so much better, and you have full control over the amount of salt that's in there, and then you can have a lot of fun, and you can add in some sweeteners and different flavors, some chocolate, and you could really just make up a bunch of different varieties of peanut butter spreads that you could put on keto crackers or keto bread, make a keto peanut butter and jelly sandwich with some, of course, keto strawberry jam, which strawberry season is coming up, so I hope to have a strawberry jam recipe for you guys soon. But we are on the cookie video today, so let's get to making the cookies. Okay, as I said, 1 egg, half cup of Swerve sweetener, 1/3 cup of Swerve brown, Lakanto brown, monk fruit brown would also work, and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then I don't pre-measure the yacon syrup because this is basically a molasses substitute for keto, and it has the consistency of molasses, and so it's very thick. And so it's just best to measure that at the time of making the video. So you want to mix this together with an electric hand mixer with the beater paddles, and you want this to get very creamy and almost frothy, and so you want to beat this on medium speed, medium to high, for like 3 minutes, okay? So we'll come back and I'll show you what this looks like after it's good and frothy. Okay, for this last little bit, I'm gonna mix in the 2 tablespoons of coconut flour first, Get that well incorporated, and then finally I will add in the peanut butter. And when it gets fully mixed up, it's going to look a little bit crumbly, but that's okay because you're going to be smashing it together with a cookie scoop and putting it on the pan to bake. And then the nice creamy peanut butter. Like I said, if you don't want to make it at home, you don't have to. It really does taste better. Store-bought creamy will work just fine. Now, of course, before you bake it, you can always do a quick little taste test to make sure it's the right sweetness level for you. My son was actually upset that we weren't leaving it as cookie dough. And so you can do that if you don't want to bake them. It really does taste really wonderful just as a cookie dough as well. And you know, of course, some people are kind of raw egg adverse and does have raw egg in it. I never had a problem with it. But leave it as cookie dough, bake it as cookies, either way. So let's go ahead, we're gonna scoop these out on a pan using a 1-inch cookie scoop. I've got my baking sheet with parchment paper. You could also use a silicone baking mat. Mine are dirty right now, so I'm using the parchment paper. And then you're just gonna scoop these out. Now, the interesting thing about peanut butter cookies is they're always made with the crisscross shape on top, pressed with a fork. And I don't know why, so if you have any idea what the history is behind that, I would love to know why peanut butter cookies traditionally have the crisscross shape. This is going to make, depending on how much cookie dough you eat, this should make about 20 cookies. So not too much, it's not a huge batch of cookies, it's kind of really, it's just the right amount to make to satisfy your sweet tooth. So this batch is, it's -1 cookie, because I ate some of the dough. So we're 19 cookies now. I'll also have to obviously have only one more cookie a day because I'm counting 2 as a serving. I haven't figured out the nutritional value on this. I will get this figured out. I will be linking an associated or related blog post to this recipe in the description box, and that blog post will have the nutritional value. So I'm going to get these in the oven. They need to bake in the oven for right about 12 minutes. You want the edges just to start getting just golden brown when you pull them out. So just golden brown and set up, and then we'll take a look at them when they come out. Well, before they go in, let me show you my masterful crisscross pattern. These are done. They are out of the oven. They look perfect. They're just a little bit, maybe a little bit more brown on the edges than I prefer. But overall, they look amazing. So that's all there is to it. This is a really easy cookie to make. And with the exception of the Yakon syrup, if you have been keto or baking keto for a while, you probably have all the ingredients on hand. But if not, I'll make sure and link to the specialty ingredients in the description box, and it will also be on the post that is on my website. So these are out of the oven. They need to cool for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I will transfer them to a cooling rack where they can finish cooling the rest of the way. I've had these just sitting out on the counter in an airtight container. I would say they probably last up to a week. I don't know because they didn't actually last that long in my house. I would say for sure you're good for 3 or 4 days. If it's going to be longer than that, you might want to stick them in the fridge, or you can even freeze them for up to 3 months. So that's all I have for today. If you have any recipe requests that you would like to see me make or put up on the website, then make sure and let me know. And I will see you on the next video.